ago on planet Earth, two brothers started watching Transformers media, and now they're going to make it your problem. Hi, I'm Hayden.
And I'm Frankie.
And welcome to BroBots in Disguise, where we are going through and discussing every episode of every major Transformers cartoon.
And let's give a warm welcome back to our podcast. He's beyond good, beyond evil, beyond your wildest imaginings. It's our guest, Jonah!
Hey!
Hey!
Welcome back.
Y'all let me out of the basement again.
We had to.
Yes.
Once per season.
You had our copy of Transformers.
Yeah, we had to go down there to dig this one up.
For 20 years.
It's been 84 years.
Welcome back. How you been?
I have been just peachy, I must say.
Have you tried any Transformers related thing new to you in general, or in general since last time, like shows, comics, or figures?
Well, aside from your podcast,
We have a listener.
Like every Gen Z and beyond person, I consume a lot of things in the form of YouTube Shorts.
Hey, there we go.
I get a lot of Transformers YouTube Shorts and related things that make me go, this property seems really interesting. I should
Nice.
probably watch Transformers Prime or this other show.
Definitely.
The answer is yes.
We should probably do some more shorts for our channel too.
That one short we did numbers.
What? Speaking of more projects, would you like to plug any personal projects out there now or forthcoming?
I eventually am going to get into Twitch streaming Deadlock, but that's completely unrelated to Transformers.
Still, that's awesome.
There's
Maybe by the time
frankly-
this episode comes out, you'll be set up and ready to go.
Yeah.
So be
And
looking
married.
for that. And married.
Yeah, there we go. Between personal projects.
Next time you're on the podcast. So how many more relationships have you burned through?
How many breads have you eaten in your life?
You thought your date was with Jonah, but it was me, Diego!
My relationships are kind of like the beginning of this movie when Megatron goes, "Die, Autobots!"
These characters
Holy
we've built up
smokes.
for over 2 seasons just are killed off instantly with barely even a line of dialogue to each.
Oh my
Except
gosh.
I am the guy who got shot in the chest and his inside melting out of his mouth.
We're here for you, man.
Oh my
We're here
goodness.
for you.
Would you like to read our intro for this episode?
I would love to read the intro. Welcome to the start of Season 3 of BroBots in Disguise, where in this first episode we are discussing that gem of 1986 animated splendor that scarred a generation, the Transformers, the movie.
That's the one where everyone dies, right?
Oh yeah, baby, bring on the trauma.
Hey.
At the time of this recording, the Transformers the movie is available to rent on Amazon, YouTube, and several other streaming services, as well as on several DVD releases. It's also easy to find bootlegs. Not sponsored, and we do not encourage piracy, even though we have to use it sometimes.
Listen, all I'm going to say is that in my totally legitimately acquired viewing method of viewing this movie, it was only definitely not due to the upload quality, but definitely due to other extraneous internet circumstances that it was locked to like 720p, which I believe allowed me to fully experience watching this on a really bad TV from like the mid 2000s,
Yeah.
or like tube
That's a good
TV
point.
that we had. It felt very fitting for our viewing experience.
But if you have the time, I highly recommend just taking the hit and buying a DVD, because the artwork in this movie is incredible.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh,
good.
yeah. Our podcast is available on YouTube and Spotify.
Yes.
So let's start our discussion with a little bit about how we first encountered this movie and its impact on ourselves, because this is always discussed as having a major impact on not just the franchise, but the people who watched it in the theater back in 1986 and on, VHS and DVD and Laserdisc and whatnot.
Yes, Jonah, how are you scarred by this movie? This is actually a trauma circle.
You guys did this one.
Yes.
This was before the Bayformers movie came out.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, I want to see that. And you guys were like, hey, we love Transformers. We'll get you into it. And you guys lent me your copy of Transformers the movie to get me into Transformers. Which, by the way, is the most unhinged thing you guys could have done. You could have given me like a few episodes of...
Well, see, here at the time, we did not have any episodes on DVD for ourselves. We had to get those from like the library or Blockbuster or something like that. I did have a few episodes of Transformers Energon, which was kind of interesting because we had watched only a few episodes of Generation 1. I think it was Autobot, Spike, the City of Steel, SOS Dinobots, Dinobot Island, and Desertion of the Dinobots, and then the movie.
I remember it vividly because it had a picture that just had Megatron's face on it, and then like a kind of cross-faded island picture at the bottom.
Some Dinobots.
And it said like, Wrath of the Dinobots or something like
I
that.
think it was like Megatron's plan or something.
Or Megatron's big plan.
Yeah, anyway. But yeah, so I think we didn't really have the time to get attached to the characters as much, so we weren't as scarred, but it was still pretty scary. Like, just the cosmic horror of Unicron was...
Yeah.
Like, I think we had to... The first time we watched it, we had to stop the movie in the middle, and then we were like, no, we gotta finish this.
Yeah.
But yeah, what do you remember, Hayden?
I just remembered this because you're about 3 years older than me.
Yeah.
I was pretty young, so I just remembered this always existing as a movie that we watched. It was only like later on as my consciousness started to catch up with what this movie actually was that I started realizing like, dang, this is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But it just kind of was always an omnipresent presence in my life. So
once we got that DVD copy, then it was one of the main Transformers that we also had a couple episodes of Energon, and then eventually we started taping Cybertron. And my kid brain first was trying to figure out like,
how is this all connected?
So how is this all connected? I thought it was one timeline. I was like, but Optimus is in Energon, so it has to come before, but Unicron's been destroyed, so it has to come after. What is going on here? That's how I got introduced to multiple timelines in the same franchise. Continuities and all that. But for the sake of time, we could talk about this all day. I could talk about this movie for 6 hours. It's that ingrained into me. But for the sake of time, let's move on. The next precursor I want to briefly touch on is there's at least 5 different versions of this film I want to briefly mention.
What?
In a twist of fate, rather than most movies at the time that were shot in widescreen and then formatted pan and scan for full screen home release, Transformers the movie was animated in full screen and then projected in widescreen in theaters. It's so bizarre. But
why?
This for once means that the VHS had more image than the theater. But this also helps with the 5th version I'll mention in a minute. First, though, there's the international version, which has a Star Wars-style wall of text at the beginning instead of the title credits, explaining what you just saw and then recapping the concept of the Transformers TV show, as well as audio narration at the end of the movie promising a Season 3 and Optimus Prime's return. The Japanese version apparently adds a few lines of dialogue and more screams of torment.
Of course they did.
More. As well as title cards for all the characters, which is pretty helpful in this super fast-paced...
Yeah, like Astro Train scream.
But most notably, it wasn't released until 1989, so people jumping straight from Season 2 to 3 or the Headmasters must have been really confused as to what was going on. But though they did get little booklets and things that kind of explain, bridge the gap and stuff. Maybe we should have waited 3 years to release this episode.
I mean, it wouldn't be far off from the pace that we put these out at.
Finally, Generation 1 Season 5, which is reruns of Generation 1 episodes with a giant puppet of Optimus Prime narrating to a live-action kid.
Oh, gosh.
Actually broadcast the movie, edited in 5 episodes. So there's a weird TV version of this, too, with the full-screen version sans swearing. I almost broke up our discussion into 5 parts following that as a guide, but I figured that a holistic discussion would be better for this.
I mean, we're already going to be breaking this up into so many different parts, so, like...
Right.
It might wind up being 5 different parts.
So, with all that said, let's get into our synopsis. Hayden, would you read us through?
Holy smokes, it's so
viewers
big.
and listeners, yes, I went ham on this.
Okay.
Viewers and listeners, please look out for references to lines of dialogue in commercials and the movie and stuff that I snuck into this.
Okay, there's an evil new force in the universe. A monster planet that devours everything in its path. Unicron eats the planet Lithone. It is the year 2005. The treacherous Decepticons have taken over the Autobot home planet of Cybertron. But from secret staging grounds on 2 of Cybertron's moons, the Autobots plan to retake their homeland. Optimus sends Ironhide and a team of to Autobot City on Earth to gather Energon for a full-scale assault. But Prime! En route, they are intercepted and actually killed by Megatron and the Decepticons, who use the shuttle to get close enough to Autobot City. The Autobots are warned by Spike's son, he has that now, Daniel, and Hot Rod, who spot them. A huge battle ensues, leaving many dead and wounded on both sides, but Optimus Prime arrives to stop Megatron, no matter the cost.
You got the touch.
Yeah! Megatron is defeated, and Decepticons are routed, but Prime succumbs to his injuries and freaking dies! He passes the Matrix of Leadership, which he apparently has, to Ultra Magnus. Meanwhile, Starscream yeets the barely alive Megatron and some wounded into space, where they meet Unicron and are reformatted into Galvatron, Cyclonus, Scourge, and the Sweeps. Galvatron kills Starscream, and Unicron eats Moonbase 1 and 2, where Jazz, Cliffjumper, Bumblebee, and Spike were, then sends Galvatron to destroy the Matrix. The Autobots are chased by the new Decepticons as they attempt to reach Cybertron to attack Unicron, but are shot down. Ultra Magnus and crew crash on the planet of Junk, where Magnus is destroyed, and the Matrix is stolen by Galvatron. Meanwhile, Hot Rod and crew crash on Quintessa, where they are rescued from Quintessons and Sharkticons by Wheelie and the Dinobot. It's a lot of proper nouns. They go to the planet of Junk, where they break up a fight between the Autobots and the resident Junkions. They make an alliance, they revive Magnus, and they set out to destroy Unicron. Galvatron tries to betray Unicron by unleashing the power of the Matrix, but he fails, and the planet transforms, eats him, and attacks the wretched home planet of Cybertron. The Autobots, Dinobots, and Junkions join the fight. Grimlock kick butt. Hot Rod's crew crashes through Unicron's eye and ends up inside it, where Daniel rescues Spike and the others. Hot Rod defeats Galvatron, uses the Matrix, arises as Rodimus Prime, and destroys Unicron. And the Autobots mark the end of the Cybertronian War as they march forward into a new era of peace and happiness, till all are one, until they are not, about 5 minutes later.
Oh my goodness.
That was exhausting.
This movie moves at 1 billion miles an hour.
Yeah.
It's trying to fit like 4 films into 90 minutes. It's incredible. Mm-hmm.
So,
and I don't think it's a problem. I think that the pacing is very much on purpose, is so streamlined. It's not like they're trying to keep the children's attention span or something, because they scared all the children off in the first 10 minutes of the film. So I think it's a stylistic... I'm going to chalk it up to a stylistic choice.
Yeah.
To just be this super streamlined, super fast-paced marathon of summer blockbuster adventure. It also saves on animation, because if you don't have to animate as much, You
don't have to spend as much.
Yeah, you don't have to spend as much.
So, like, when I was starting to watch this for the podcast to get my notes together, I usually set up my Google Doc.
Yeah.
And, like, right away, as the episode is playing, I'll, like, write a note. And then, sometimes I'll pause and, like, have like, get all of my thoughts down and then keep going with it. This one, I started setting it up at the intro, and then I was like, okay, let me get my notes up. Slow down, movie. That's good! It's enough movie! Yeah, it was very hard to keep up with.
Yeah, this is not a movie you could just put on in the background. You've got to just watch the whole thing and be exhausted at the end.
It's also an assault of the senses. Like, you have a note about that.
Yeah, photosensitivity warning.
We probably should have let you know about that again. It's like, by the way, remember, it's not kind.
Unicron having an actual real-world effect
Yeah.
by trying to kill me.
We probably should have put a warning label on this one.
No, it's okay. It's okay. I powered through the migraine.
Oh, man. But, like, that whole intro sequence as well.
It's terrifying. It's beautiful. The cosmic horror of just this thing. This thing has just been out there somewhere deep in space. It's the same kind of idea of, like...
It's the only quiet
scary
moment you'll
things
get
in
in the movie.
Deep, dark... The scary deep dark of the ocean, it's a similar feeling to that.
Yeah.
That there just could be anything lurking out there.
Mm-hmm.
And what's lurking out there? A planet that eats other planets with sentient being, a whole poor Lithone. Like, we get this like scene of like this whole mall area. Of course it's an 80s movie, so there's gonna be a mall in it somewhere. But I wonder, how does Kranix and Arbalest know about Unicron? Is it just them? Are they like astronomers who know about? Is this a legend, or like, is it a well-known thing? Because like, Megatron later doesn't really seem to be that surprised to meet.
There's a lot of questions I have about like who all knows about Unicron, the Matrix, even like the identity of like Galvatron and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't really know how much anybody knows at any one given point.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people are just in the dark. But, just this whole sequence, such a tone shift from, all of the other space adventures that we've had up until this point, where it's just sort of like, it's an adventure. Mm-hmm. This is completely removed from Autobots and Decepticons. It's completely separate. We don't really know any characters or anything. We don't know if these people are going to be important. It just feels like a bizarre little vignette of like, is this gonna be the thread of the movie? I don't know. Like,
yeah, because that's really what it is. It's like there's all these people with their lives, and they're just, as if millions of lives were wiped out in an instant.
Yes. He's a much better Death Star. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Much more terrifying because you have to sit with it and watch it be destroyed. And just the incredible artwork and the music and the. It's so good!
Oh, yeah. Vince DiCola, everything through this movie is just peak. Top notch.
Mm-hmm.
What were you going to say?
Oh, no, it's just on the note of tone setting, the cartoon chomping noise as the people of Lithone get horribly devoured and destroyed and genocided.
I don't know if that makes it more scary or just is like perfectly... It's... Because the juxtaposition of like... Jumping from the cozy vibes of later season 2 of even when Earth is about to be thrown into the sun by the Combaticons,
yes,
it's still so campy in its delivery that like jumping to this, it's like actually terrifying. And then you've got the chomp chomp noise. It's like, what is happening here? And that is the whole movie.
Yeah.
Just, you have these horrible deaths, and they're just these goofy, one-liners, or just these silly cartoon effects, or just whatever. This movie is beautiful. I love this.
The writers have such complete disregard for all life that's not human in this movie that they don't even realize that they've done some really messed up, dark things, and they just throw in humor.
As Galvatron says, this is bad comedy.
It's really... I think weirdly enough, the chomping noise also helps like set context because like up until this point, you just seen it's a planet, but it looks like a space station, but it has a mouth, and like you're not really sure what you're looking at. But just having such a cartoony, like out of nowhere, very easily associated with eating sound effects in there, it helps kids, but it also helps us realize that like, oh, it is eating. It is something that eats and digests.
Yeah.
Like, it's an organism of some kind.
Right. And then you see the digestive... There was actually going to be more shots. I was looking at some deleted scenes that show more fluid being pumped through organs, and it was going to be even more organic on the inside.
Ooh,
it was very creepy.
Yeah.
And also much more of an assault on the senses with the photosensitive. Because there's even more flashing lights, and then it's like all red, and then it's all blue, and then it's all purple. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, so I'm glad that we actually got to see what was going on.
I love how it feels like its own little short film. It starts with cold, quiet space.
Yeah.
And then you see Unicron enter the scene, and then like we don't get much context for Lithone. It's a bustling world, and then the only word spoken is, look, it's Unicron. All of our attention's diverted to it. We see this whole thing like it's just a disaster. And then it's cold, quiet space. And then a rockin' bass line.
Yeah, then we just get into this incredible... So, you don't even have time to recover from that when you're just hit with the most rockin' version of the Transformers theme song ever.
Yes.
I always thought that the distance traveled in that opening credits sequence is actual distance travel going past galaxies and stuff, so I thought Unicron was really that far away. So do you think that when the ring lights up around the outside, that's him getting ready for, like, warp drive or something?
Weirdly enough, I don't think he probably has to have warp drive of some kind, but he feels like something that, like, would be prophesied to come because he just moves through space. Like, he doesn't have warp drive, so it takes him eons to get places. But when he does...
wasn't Lithone prepared? Because he just sneaks up on it. How does a planet sneak up on you?
Like, we wouldn't be prepared for something like this.
Yeah. That's a good point. Maybe they're just like, yeah, we know he's coming. Well, there's nothing that can stop this, so we're just gonna, like, not tell anybody, and then we're all gonna die.
Unicron's just a thinly veiled climate change metaphor.
Yeah. So was this, like, millions of years ago or something that this happened, and he's just now getting to... But then we see Kranix later in the movie, like, again, it just
he's
happened,
he's a Transformer type person, so he probably lives forever.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Yeah, the intro.
Now it is the year 2005.
Yes.
Yay, 2005.
And yes, to your question, that is the same narrator from the show.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Victor Carolier, I want to say.
Yeah, something like that.
Whew.
Does he do a couple of voices in the show itself?
I don't know, which is surprising if he doesn't.
Yeah.
Because everybody plays, like, 50 characters.
I was thinking like Corey Burton for Star Wars: The Clone Wars, where he's the narrator, he's Admiral Yularian, he's Count Dooku, sort of thing.
No,
is it Corey Burton?
No, it's
might not be. Somebody else.
LeVar Burton.
Yeah. Different Burton.
Tim Burton.
Are you guys related? Yes, so, it is the year 2005. It is no longer 1980 something.
So far in the future. Yeah, 85 was...
which is also very odd.
Presumably, all of Season 2 takes place in 85, though I like to think that it stretches out a little bit, like into the 90s or something, so there's not such a time skip.
Yeah.
But considering that everybody's in, I guess you could call it now, retro future... 80s futurism clothes and turns into futuristic cars and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Which a lot of the alt modes I always thought they were really cool in this movie. But they finally fixed that hole in Cybertron, and they built at least 2 more moons. We see Moon 1 and 2 in most of the shots, but the narrator says 2 of Cybertron's moons, implying that there are more. And later, when Unicron eats 2 of the moons, it cuts to another shot where there is a 3rd moon, but it does look like Moonbase 2.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was supposed to be there or not.
I'm willing to chalk that up to an animation error of some kind.
I like to think that there was a 3rd moon, just because it's a nice shot. It looks nice. I like how close everything can get without the gravity just completely screwing it up, because it looks pretty.
Yeah.
I love the new artwork. But what do you think the Autobots are working on? It looks like they're manufacturing either weapons or drones or something, getting ready for their big push on Cybertron.
I don't know. Maybe something combiner related, like making more combiners.
That seems to be their arms race.
Yeah. But also, where do you think Cybertron is at this point? Is it still floating around Jupiter somewhere, or has it been moved out of the solar system? I'm sorry, I am hung up on this, because when they're traveling from Earth to Cybertron, they end up on the planet Junk, and they end up on Quintessa, which I don't think are in Earth's solar system. However, planets move in their orbit, so, they might have gone way out of their way and got into these other planets. Did Unicron end up in Earth's solar system, or did they move it out of Earth's solar system past the Junk and past Quintessa, and Unicron is just getting to Cybertron? Because it seems weird that they would, Unicron would be able to get to Cybertron before the other people if Quintessa and Junk are past Cybertron somewhere outside the solar system. Maybe they just get flung out of warp drive or something. There's nebula in the background. Space is so pretty in this movie. I love the
It's like an airbrushed van.
But I don't know where anything is. And travel time has always been a joke in Transformers. They can drive from North America to the heart of Africa in 2 hours.
Yes.
So I don't think it matters, but there's a scene later on where when Unicron eats Moonbase 1 and 2, the signal from Jazz and Cliffjumper and Bumblebee and Spike get to Earth in real time, but it could be that but then Galvatron and his people show up like immediately after they receive that signal. So like after they just left like 30 seconds ago. If this is all in real time, if you want to take a scientific approach, then it took time for that signal to get to Earth, and by the time the signal got to Earth, so did Galvatron and his crew. But anyway, let's not think about it.
Transformers takes place in a heliocentric model of the universe. Everything is closer than ours.
Yes, and it takes no time to get anywhere. At least, if it's not realistic, it is internally consistent. And I appreciate that.
I guarantee you, none of the people working on this movie thought of any of that.
Okay, I'm done with my rant. Where would we like to go next?
Adult Spike!
Yeah!
Spike!
I love seeing the grown-up and mature Spike. Also, Carly is his wife, in case you were wondering, as she doesn't show up until season 3.
I thought it was one of his
She was going to be in this movie, but she got cut in some of the earlier drafts. Which, if you want to know more about some of the original ideas for the movie, go watch Chris McFeely's Basics on the Movie previous drafts video. It's incredible. He goes through the whole original script for it.
Well, I like this little intro to the Autobots and stuff, where it's, it feels like reminiscent of where we've been at tone-wise, where it's like, we don't have enough power to power a full-scale assault, so we gotta go and get to Autobot City. And then, like, the whole launching sequence of them getting the shuttle ready, it's all, like, camaraderie and stuff. We see Adult Spike, we see Bumblebee, a lot of familiar faces, and it's cool seeing, like, some have changed, some have stayed the same, and just, like, the whole setting is different, but it's like, we know these guys, we know the Autobots, and things are kind of like, the way they've always been. But we get the ominous Megatron line where he says, Optimus says, now we're going to need a little bit of Energon and a lot of luck, and normally what would be a pretty cheesy, normal interaction for G1 of more than you can imagine, Optimus Prime. Then there's the Vince DiCola
Yeah, and
synth,
then it would go
like that.
Yeah,
It's
normally it would go da 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 da.
Yeah.
We don't get that in this movie.
Now-
Instead, we get ominous synth.
It's like, oh, wait a minute, what is he planning?
Actual murder, apparently.
Yeah.
They're finally landing their shots.
Yeah. The stormtroopers learned.
Oh, which I put this in. This war has been going on for 20 years, and they're finally now killing each other.
Yes.
That is the equivalent of if the first casualty in the war in Afghanistan was in 2021. Imagine if it took 20 years and then finally SEAL Team 6 burst into Osama bin Laden's house and was like, die, Autobots!
It's like, oh my gosh, they have guns now.
Everybody just throwing beanbags at each other. Fireball, fireball.
Just
It's all been
every...
LARP
This
up.
wasn't in the script.
It's all been LARP up to. It's all been paintball until somebody brought
Yeah.
a real AR-15.
Can't do that. Every week it's just Al-Qaeda, retreat!
Yeah. Now, to be fair, this war's also been going on for at least 9 million years.
It was sick for most of that.
20 years from 1985 to 2005 is like a long weekend to them. They've also been asleep for 4 million years, so I don't know.
So-
It's weird. Timelines are weird.
There's a lot of ways to look
But
at
also,
this.
Optimus and Megatron have not died in 9 million years, so I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways to look at it where it's like they're the older models of Transformers. Like a lot of these guys have been around since season 1. So they've probably just been blown up and rebuilt so many times that now is just they just fell apart because they're so
Yeah.
depleted of energon or
We
something.
can't fix this. It's been broken.
The
too many times.
Decepticons started trying, or it's just like what you said. It's lamp shading.
Yeah.
Well, I also brought up that Ultra Magnus can be blown up and put back together later in the movie, like in the rest of the show, like in season 2 and even a little bit in season 3
I'm willing
as well.
to call that junkie on sorcery.
Yes.
They're like orcs. They just
Well,
believe
also-
that it's going to happen.
Also, his toy does come apart like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because of the way that it works, which I've got a theory about. Maybe he was supposed to originally be. Well, I'll get to that later. However, maybe it's because season 1, all the season 1 and 2 characters. Well, so the season 2 characters are primarily in the background of everything.
Yeah.
Season 1 characters are all on Cybertron. And then the season 2 and 3 characters that are relevant to the movie are in Autobot City on Earth, where Optimus wants to get more energon from because he says we don't have enough energon to power full scale assault. So maybe all the ones on Moonbase 1 and 2 are weakened already. They're already very weak because they're drained of energy, and so they could not survive their damage. But that doesn't explain Windcharger and Wheeljack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, settling into the cozy vibe of season 2, I've never felt the tonal whiplash more than watching this movie with my wife after really getting into the coziness of season 2. There's a very pervasive theme in the first act of this movie of people being blissfully unaware of the utter doom about to fall upon them. Like Lithone, they're just going about their business, enjoying their 80s mall time, and then all of a sudden their planet is being eaten. The Autobots on the shuttle were just on a routine mission to Autobot City, and then all of a sudden they're being caved in and blown up by the Decepticons, and then killed. And then we jump to Daniel and Spike are just, fishing in that pond and just going up to Lookout Mountain to watch the the shuttle land, and then all hell breaks loose and the Decepticons attack Autobot City. But it's countered by but this one is countered by the new generation's theme song of Dare to believe you can survive. And then also the Insecticons are in our way. You know, the older generation, Cup is from the older generation, presumably, but he's like, oh no, the Decepticons are in our way. And then Hot Rod counters with, wrong, they're our way in. Hiya! So it's kind of setting up the theme of the movie is that if you're getting too entrenched in the regular stuff, you're gonna get killed off. But you got to keep finding new ways to survive and get through the darkest hour and stuff like that.
Hey, as long as your toys sell well,
Yeah.
You'll make it.
Dare to believe we'll have a good sales quarter.
Yes. And that people won't be scared off by this movie. And all the new toys will continue to sell.
But yeah, I view it as one of this movie's main themes is oncoming, the inevitability of death.
Yeah.
The inevitability of oncoming doom and the brutality of what that means.
Yeah.
And it's every aspect of this movie feeds into that. I'll kind of bring it up as we go along, but yeah.
And just the blatant disregard for... The thing about this movie is that the writers don't even seem to understand that they're doing something really dark here.
Yeah.
They're acting like it's normal.
It's like, yeah, that's fine. They blow each other up all the time. This time it's just permanent. What's the matter with that?
So that does kind of show into the behind the scenes of the making of this movie is that they really didn't know what they were doing because nothing had ever been done like this before, and nothing will probably ever be done like this movie since, because they started working on this movie. Season 1, as I understand it, Season 1 wasn't even done yet. So they were still like, hey, this is a toy commercial, so if these toys are going to be, their shelf life is going to expire at this point, we could just kill these characters off. We're not trying to sell them anymore, so we can make this, feel really serious. They were trying to create like a sense of awe and importance to this film. So they're like, what if we since we're not going to be selling these toys by then, what if we just kill them? At least they had the prescience to know that, okay, Optimus is kind of our main hero, so we got to give him a climatic battle and a good send off, at least. And then they use that to feed into the theme of passing on to the next generation and stuff like that, which I'll get into a little more later on. But yeah, it's. But you're absolutely right. They didn't know what they were doing. They didn't realize that by the time the season 2 ended, everybody would be super attached to these characters and be like, wow, I want to see my favorite toy go on this grand adventure, and oh my gosh, he's dead now.
It is weirdly refreshing though, because there's so many franchises and stuff out there that are like,
play it safe.
Remember this, play it safe. Remember this
Take
guy
Star
that
Wars,
you love
Disney Star Wars. They can't kill anybody off.
It's like all of your precious characters are gonna make a cameo and then do the thing that you want them to do, and then everybody's gonna cheer, and it's very refreshing to just be like, here's your favorite character. His innards are now his outers.
It's like, we're telling a serious story here. And we are, we don't care who gets hurt, because if it serves the story, it serves the story.
But it's so funny too, because it's like, it doesn't really serve the story that much. Their deaths are just like, they're just setting up the rest of the plot functionally as like a mechanic of the story. It's just like, oh, the Decepticons now have a way to get in and sneak into Autobot City.
Yeah. The first act of this movie is kind of like the first act of Return of the Jedi, but the opposite. Where instead of bringing a character back into the narrative, they're removing characters to make way for other characters.
It's like, shoo, get out of the way.
Yeah. I think, to your point, Hayden, I do think that Optimus as a character, his death is the only one that, like, serves a narrative purpose, whereas most... You're right. Everybody else,
they're more of just collateral damage.
They
than
are
anything else.
collateral damage. They are tone setters. They are, which once again, they didn't know that these characters were going to be beloved by this point. They just saw them as, these are just, cannon fodder. Which, I mean, the live action movies do the same thing too.
This is the only time that I think the war actually feels like a war.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they wage their battle, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's actually a cost to it now.
Yeah.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Yeah.
I say as I hold Ratchet. My favorite war criminal scientist.
Yes. Mine was Prowl, but solely because I liked the way he said disarmament acid pellet style in the Dinobot Island one.
I always liked Wheeljack because he was the inventor. He was the crazy inventor who made the Dinobots, and now he's just dead on the floor.
He died off screen!
He doesn't even get the benefit of...
Which a golf ball sized hole in his chest, he's dead on the spot.
Now here's the funny thing. Because this movie didn't come out for 3 years in Japan, they continued putting Wheeljack in stuff like the head... I think he shows up in the Headmasters.
He shows up in like the first
but
5
I know he's in
episodes of the
Victory. He's in Victory for sure.
Yeah.
And it's just like, how did he come back to life? I don't know. He's just back.
He got better.
He got better.
I was actually getting a lot better.
Yep.
I died.
So, yeah.
But I lived.
But I lived. But
oh my goodness.
yes.
Yeah. The way I see it is if we don't see a body or there's a later episode where they go to a mausoleum and Daniel lists off some names of Autobots who died. If we don't see them die or be dead on screen in the movie, or we don't get a name later in season 3, my guess is they're still alive out there somewhere.
Yeah.
They're just not important to the show anymore.
The weird thing about this whole siege of Autobot City is that there is no one main character. The most we get is potentially Hot Rod.
Yeah.
But he's more of like one of the main characters of like the whole movie.
Yeah.
For this whole siege and everything, it bounces perspectives like so many different times. Like we ping pong from Hot Rod to a group of people to like little vignettes throughout the city. Mm-hmm. We get Optimus and Megatron's fight. We get all of it's kind of this way through the whole movie. It's just jumping from perspective to perspective, and you never know who you're going to focus on, but you also never know when they're going to die.
Yeah. Right. And I think it's after Optimus's death that we kind of really start to...
We zero in.
Yeah, on a few main characters. But I feel like that's one of the benefits of Transformers having such a massive ensemble cast anyway, is that it's a much more community-oriented show than it is a solipsistic individualist show.
Well, it's the Autobots wage their battle against the Decepticons. It's never Optimus wages his battle against Megatron.
Right.
So.
And that's never been more apparent in this movie where, and I'll talk about this some more later, is that Optimus and Megatron basically are sent off screen in the first 30 minutes of this film, and then it moves on to the next generation, and they just keep fighting. They just keep fighting. But yeah. So the Battle of Autobot City.
Yes.
Yes.
You got the touch. Yeah. We get Dare and the touch within like 10 minutes of each other. This movie cannot go 10 minutes without a song, and it's awesome.
Yeah. I remember somebody, I think it might have been H Bomber Guy, describing this movie as a music video.
Yes.
I feel like that's pretty accurate.
It's got the same pacing of a music video.
And I love it for that.
Yes.
It's very entertaining.
Oh, yes.
Very visually stunning.
Yep. Yeah, H Bomber Guy has a lot of interesting points about this movie, but I don't like how he's constantly trying to pretend that he's too mature for a kid's show. Is it Pointless Hub or Point Blank or what?
Pointless Hub.
Pointless Hub. I think he has a much better video on this because he takes into consideration season 1, 2, and 3, where H Bomber Guy just leaves off with this movie.
And Pointless Hub does not pretend that he's better.
Yeah.
His show about transforming robots.
Right, yeah, and he makes a lot of good points too. So yeah, there's a lot of fun little vignettes like you brought up. Starscream blowing his foot off and Kickback eating.
Oh, my foot!
Kickback says the metal he's eating is a little heavy on the electrons, which means he can taste things on the subatomic level.
Yes.
I never registered that.
I guess that's like a type of spice to him or something like that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, and then the little battle in the radio tower or whatever's going on there.
Oh yeah, with the blaster and
Perceptor.
Soundwave and the cassette bots and everything.
Speaking of which, I didn't know Soundwave kept so many cassette bots inside of him at one time.
Yes.
And I think Soundwave is actually a marsupial.
That's
Which means Blaster is a
Yes.
marsupial.
yes.
Would any Transformer who is able to keep another Transformer inside their body a marsupial? What does this make the chest Transformers? The ones that have like the Power Masters.
Oh the the Power Masters and the Breast Force.
Yes.
And, yeah.
It's their actual
Yes.
names.
Yes.
Breast Force,
The breast-
interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I wonder what their deal is.
But man, the energy and momentum of the animation and music and the editing in the Battle of Autobot City is just fantastic. You're just constantly running from one thing to another, and there's some interesting unused footage or test footage from one of the trailers where Ultra Magnus is in his Diaclone colors, but I wish some of that made it into this. At least the shot where you see the whole of Autobot City turn into this battleship just shooting lasers. And also this is canonically, although we don't see it in here, canonically part of this is Metroplex, and it does get damaged. The transformation cog does get damaged, which is why he's just stuck in battle mode and can't transform.
So that
into
explains
giant
why-
mode.
Yeah, that explains the connection with Scramble City
Yes.
as well.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
Um,
And then also Five Faces of Darkness when he shows up again. Yeah.
the siege, it starts with just a response. It starts with Ultra Magnus,
Defenses.
demonstrating that he's a capable commander. He's a
Yes.
field commander. He's a soldier, and we still have
Yeah.
quips. We still have funny moments and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
It hits night. I don't think there's ever been a battle between Autobots and Decepticons that has gone longer than 10 minutes. This is
Yeah.
an actual siege.
Yeah.
And the fact that we have a couple shots at night where it's just lit up by laser fire and it zooms out and you just the time lapse from from night to day showing that this has been going on so long and they're just hurling people at each other at
Yeah.
this point where it the whole city is destroyed and there's so many dead people now.
Yeah, it feels like things just escalated and escalated.
I don't think this was
originally-
intended to be a normal siege. I don't think it started that way because the Decepticons.
Yeah, they were going to come in on the ship and then just take over from the inside
Yeah.
or something, right?
But I like how it seems like from both sides they just started okay, we need some more people. The battle's getting bigger and bigger. We need more people. It's everyone.
Send everyone.
But yeah, I love that sense of just
Blaster's just radioing Optimus Prime. Send dudes! You mean Energon cubes? No, dudes! We're in the middle of the battle!
I think the line with Springer where he says, "I've got better things to do tonight than die." I think every single Transformer that was in this fight just decided that.
Yeah.
And
we're gonna give it an all.
they just decided, you know what? The war's gonna end here. Let's do it. Let's freaking go.
Yeah. And then just the impact of Devastator being back. The first time he shows up, the music changes and everybody looks at him Devastator. And then you get this moment of silence where he's just prepare for devastation.
He didn't brick any computers, so
Yeah.
this is the weakest he's ever been.
Yeah,
He didn't fry the servers just from being animated.
Probably broke some poor animator's hand, though.
Yeah.
Some Japanese
But I like
or
that
Korean animator's hand.
we don't have a lot of like the newer combiners or anything, because obviously this is being made before season 1 was even
Right.
done. But I like that it feels like back to basics. We have the ultimate WMD of the Decepticons,
Yes.
Devastator,
Mhm.
squaring off against the ultimate WMD of the Autobots, the Dinobots.
Yes.
And it's
Dinobots
such
are
a
back.
dissatisfying fight.
It's so quick.
It's a nothing burger of a fight.
Yeah.
Also, we get Looney Tune eyes from Sludge.
Yes, it's like, ooh. He gets
man.
whacked on the back, and then his eyes just like.
But the entrance of Optimus, just the whole way it's played out, just it has the touch.
It does.
It has the power.
It
Yeah.
really has the sense that he's here to save the day.
Yes.
You know, it's so good. His entrance is just like, oh, because if you actually just sit and lock in on this movie, and don't pause, it's just by the time you've gotten to this point, you're exhausted as the Autobots and Decepticons, and so once Optimus shows up, you're like, oh, it's gonna be okay now.
It's the eye of the storm.
Yes.
Here to get rid of the underselling Decepticons.
Yes. You know,
I
that
love
now
how
that
he's
you
just-
mention it, all of the Decepticons, like, you know, most of the Decepticon force was in that shuttle and killed all of the Autobots that were in there.
Yeah.
It took all of the Decepticons. Optimus 1v1s the Decepticon army and wipes out most of them.
There was actually originally supposed to be more shots of that. Of him
Really?
just plowing through Decepticons, but they cut it for time. And, you know, the sake of the animators.
Now, granted, most of the ones that are, like, injured and wounded and everything
Yes.
like that, you know, Optimus takes out, or they're just taken out in the battle and stuff.
Yeah.
So he doesn't kill most of them.
Mhm.
But still.
Because the Decepticons have less of a force than the Autobots. The Autobots go down and they die. The Decepticons just get injured.
Yeah.
I don't think we actually see a dead Decepticon in the Battle of Autobot City.
Yeah, this movie is insane for giving the bad guys plot armor.
Yes.
Right? It's the opposite of the Stormtrooper effect.
Yeah. Like even in the shuttle when they breached and killed Ironhide and them.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't even land a shot on any
No.
of the Decepticons.
No Decepticons were
Braun's just
harmed in
like,
making
this is a
this
normal
massacre."
day, I'm gonna bum rush these guys, and then just gets killed by a shot from the shoulder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also so sad that Braun's the first one to go, because he was kind of the Nathan Drake of the Autobots. Like,
Yeah.
he was this insane little dude who would just charge in head first and, like, wind up going on crazy adventures and stuff. And then he just gets nailed the first moment of the movie.
I've been practicing in AIM labs.
Yeah.
Autobot.
I've got aim assist on today. Now, to be
Decepticons
fair-
have wall hacks.
Yeah. Also, it's funny because people get shot point blank in the cartoon, but then they're just fine. Or, you know, Optimus is like, I've got auto repair systems are already in.
Yeah.
My equilibrium.
Destabilized.
But now, due to the numerous animation errors in Transformers Season 3, Braun actually does make a brief appearance in Season 3.
Hey,
He's back.
He's there for like 1 or 2 shots, and then we'll never see him again.
Quick, scoop his organs back
Yeah.
in his mouth.
Oh.
I think Prowl is
You'll
the
live.
one. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, so then we got the climactic, one shall stand, one shall fall. And Megatron retorts with, why throw away your life so recklessly? And then Megatron... And
then Optimus has hit the deck and is getting back up.
Yes,
somehow
that's one of
in
the
between
deleted
this
scenes.
shot.
Apparently Dirge was supposed to jump him and he was just going to like grab him and throw him.
Wild. But, yeah, okay, so the fight with Optimus and Megatron. Whole.
Now that's a satisfying fight.
It's
So,
really good.
like, I mean, it's set to the touch. Like,
Yes.
that makes it 10 times better.
Yep.
But also, like, this is the first time that we're seeing wounds and battle damage build up on these two. More often than not, they're the most like physical fighting that we ever have between them is like one of them will pick up the other and then chuck him. This time they're actually like picking up weapons. Like this is a dog fight. Like down and dirty. Like Megatron says, "I'll rip out your optics." Where did that come from?
Yeah. For some reason,
where was this energy, Megatron?
They just decided. I feel like, he says Megatron must be stopped no matter the cost.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's once he's landed and he sees the destruction that's happened to this Autobot city, and he knows that if Autobot City is destroyed, then the Decepticons will do this across the entire planet. And he sees how many of his Autobots are already dead. So he's like, no. This has to stop here. I've been putting it off. I've been going easy on him. I gotta give it my all. And Megatron's already so bloodlusty and in it to win it. Yeah. By this point, he's like, yeah, this is it. We're gonna do this. I'm gonna kill you, or you're gonna kill me. Yeah.
Well, I feel like there's a lot of parallels between Transformers Armada's ending and this movie, which it directly drew inspiration from. But it's the same similar dynamic between Galvatron and Optimus in that finale to that show, is that it's all around Unicron and stuff. But they just decide, like, after all is said and done, after we've beaten Unicron, you never walk, you never run. You're a winner. Sorry, but then like Galvatron just turns to Optimus and decides, we're finishing this. Like, we're gonna fight to the death, and that's gonna be the end of the war. Like, let's freaking go.
Cage match.
Yeah.
Right.
And a lot of Gen X and millennials have a issue with this fight in that Hot Rod comes in and throws it for Optimus. Which, by the way, Megatron is very lucky he's not facing against Bayformers Optimus.
I'll kill you!
Optimus, no!
No, Optimus, go!
See, I think that's what they're expecting from this movie, but this is being more true to Optimus's character. Although we've also established that Optimus is also a psychopath in the Generation 1 as well. But no, being true to his character, he does pause and talk it out with Megatron when, he knows Megatron is up to something, but he's... I don't know, is Optimus monologuing here? Is he like, I've got the upper hand now, Megatron?
Well, I think it's also, you look at the way the fight plays out. From moment one, Megatron is fighting dirty. He's picking up objects off of the ground. He gets a wound on Optimus.
Yeah.
And then he's constantly aiming for that wound.
Yeah.
He's going for the kidney shot every single time.
Yeah.
He picks up a sword. He picks up a shard of metal. And then his ace in the hole is a random gun that's just on the ground. And he's not above groveling to get closer to it. And meanwhile, Optimus has done a clean fight this whole time.
Yeah.
It's been his gun and his fists, and that's it.
Yeah. He didn't even get out the energy axe.
Yeah.
He's super famous for, even though it only showed up in one episode.
But yeah, and then also Megatron wins by playing dirty. He takes a hostage. And I think it's also really...
It's so in character for both of them.
Yes, and it's really important for Hot Rod's character as well, because RC's line where she says, you probably didn't gauge the situation, because he was like, I wasn't worried for a microsecond, like that, and she's like, you probably didn't understand the gravity of the situation, which is right. He didn't understand when he saw one Decepticon in the shuttle, like, oh, I'll just shoot that one Decepticon that's in the shuttle, and then a swarm of them fly out. He's like, oh, shoot.
Yeah.
But then here, he's like, I gotta help Prime. Not realizing he's fighting Megatron. You've never fought Megatron before. You have no idea what this guy is like. You have no idea how you're gonna be able to help. And instead of, like, playing it safe and, like, firing from the side or anything, he goes for a football tackle. He just gets in the way.
Yeah.
And it's so powerful that Megatron forces Hot Rod to watch his leader die because of him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's a gut punch, man.
Yeah. And it really plays into Hot Rod's character arc, is that he has to live with that guilt. And definitely, not just in the movie, but throughout all of Season 3, The poor guy's depressed in season 3.
I love tired middle-aged hot rod. And it's like, I'm too old for this, and it's like, you've been doing this for 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I actually wanted to ask you guys because I've never seen or heard anything about season 3. I mean, aside from Pointless Hub.
Yeah.
But like, I just never see Hot Rod in like anything, and I don't know if was that because just like of the over hated of him because of Gen X being like, oh, you got Optimus killed, I hate him, versus him actually being a bad character.
So I think he's a great character. He's not a good person, but he's a great character.
I think he is a very real person, actually.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to talk about him more as we go through season 3. His character arc gets shuffled around a lot because, yes, it is definitely Gen X and millennials being scarred by Optimus being killed and blaming Hot Rod for it.
It also kind of feeds into the writing itself because I think a lot of season 3 is like weirdly mean-spirited in some places. Like, I don't know, just like most of the characters aren't really like, we all like each other or anything.
But also by bringing Optimus back, they cut off Hot Rod's character arc in season 3.
Yeah.
Because he was actually kind of having a character arc, as much as a character arc in an episodic show can have, from the 80s, But anyway, and then in later shows, of course they go through Beast Wars, so they don't have the same characters. Then when they get back to, car robots, that's all like mostly Japanese characters with Optimus and Megatron, nearly unrecognizable, but recognizable enough. And then you get to Armada, where they're kind of really rebooting the franchise. They did not want to bring in Hot Rod yet because they didn't want people worried that they were going to kill off Optimus Prime. And then they killed off Optimus Prime. Yeah. They brought him back a couple episodes later instead of a whole season later. But they had Hot Shot instead, which was a Hot Rod analogy,
analog, basically.
Yeah.
And then they had he was like Hot Rod and Bumblebee put together. Then they brought in Rodimus Prime as like a secondary kind of a Lancer figure to Optimus Prime and Energon.
He's more of like the Bucky to Captain America sort of thing, where it's like he's the guy who will do the dirty work to get the job done.
And then he's and then in animated he made a cameo. In the live-action movies, he made a cameo, and then he's...
Yeah, it was a French Lamborghini in the live-action movies.
And then he's Nick Roche's favorite character, so he is all over IDW comics. All over the place.
And he has also made an appearance in the most recent Energon universe, the comic fun that's going right now.
Oh, yeah, I got caught up on those.
Yeah,
it's really good.
Those are good. You'll like them. So... I feel like the cultural zeitgeist now, especially with the soap operic nature of the
IDW comics,
have really done a lot to make Hot Rod popular.
Yeah, repair his image.
Yeah.
There we go.
Me, having only seen about 6 or 7 episodes of Transformers prior to this, I thought Hot Rod was cool, man.
Yeah.
I was like, this is how, I've seen Star Wars, I've seen, other things. So I just thought, Hot Rod's the Luke Skywalker to Optimus's Ben Kenobi. Right?
Yeah.
Ben Kenobi died. That meant something,
Yeah, it's a hero's journey.
Yeah, it's part of the hero's journey. This movie follows the hero's journey pretty well. But not so well that it's just, obviously the hero's journey. But in this, and they need that young character to go on that journey to make a satisfying story for a movie, And we'll talk more about his character arc as we go on throughout the discussion. But let's go ahead and finish up our discussion of the death of Optimus Prime.
I do love the contrast between how the Decepticons treat their fallen and how the Autobots treat their fallen.
Yes.
We get an actual, bedside hospital passing away peacefully surrounded by your loved one scene for Optimus. the second Megatron is down, Starscream kicks him in the side.
Yeah.
And then, like, we have a whole sequence with
Which
them.
he did not step on the panel, so
He
he
didn't step on the panel, so he didn't explode.
Yeah.
But
I
then,
love how it still follows, even as traumatic and horrible as the Battle of Autobot City is, it still follows the formula of a regular episode where the Decepticons attack, the Decepticons retreat. You know, they try something, then Prime wins against Megatron, and the Decepticons retreat. RC even says, the Decepticons are retreating!
Yeah.
But it has so much more gravitas now, because, you know, it's not Megatron saying, oh, Decepticons retreat, I stubbed my toe! Or Starscream saying, Megatron's fallen, I'm the new leader! He's like, well, Megatron, that sucks, let's get out of here, Astro Train. And then, it's RC who says, wow, the Decepticons are retreating, and Cup is shocked. Incredible, Prime, turn the tide,
But yeah, I love the gravity of Hot Rod coming up to Optimus and being like, "You'll forgive me," like that.
Yes.
And then cutting over to the Decepticons and Megatron just in a helpless state of like, "Don't leave me, Soundwave," like that. It's how the Autobots and Decepticons care for their fallen leaders is
Love that
really
shot
good.
of Soundwave carrying him, and then Rumble with the gun.
Yeah, he's carrying the gun. It's like, I'm helpful.
Oh man.
Okay,
so
so
Prime's life signs are indicated by red, green, yellow, and blue. Based on the colors we have seen before, I'm guessing maybe red for a laser core, green for cybertonium, yellow for and blue maybe for energon.
yellow is pee.
No.
He needs to be hydrated.
It's stored in the ball joints.
Yes.
Yellow is his iron levels.
Yeah,
No.
it's his paint color levels, because when he dies he fades to gunmetal gray just to make sure he's dead, and then his head goes.
But yeah,
Poor Optimus.
you had a question about the Matrix itself.
He said Optimus says, soon I shall be one with the Matrix. Do Transformers have their own afterlife?
Not yet.
Not yet? They invent the afterlife?
That would be
Well, I
crazy.
guess the plasma energy chamber, I guess, is part
actually,
of that.
that's is it kind of, or is Vector Sigma?
Well, that like helps
in
make the
gener-
golden age of Cybertron.
From
at the
what
end.
we know so far, just going off of the comics, what do you think?
So
Or not the comics, the cartoon.
So off of the cartoon, we know that the laser core is basically a heartbeat. We know that there's a cyber brain, which is just like the neural unit and stuff. We have not had anything spiritual yet. This is the first spiritual thing that has been like, and even then they're not really addressing it in this movie. It's just like, it's the Matrix of leadership. What is that? Shut up.
In season 3, they develop it further with the Matrix being it's the collective wisdom of the ancients, and
it's basically the Avatar state.
So
don't worry, kids. You'll see Optimus Prime in heaven.
Yes.
It's I don't know if in the cartoon continuity, if all Transformers who die go into the Matrix, or if it is just the leaders who carry the Matrix. Because in season 3, when Rodimus travels through the Matrix to learn about their origins, he speaks to all the previous bearers of the Matrix to get the history. I don't know if it's just bearers of the Matrix or all Transformers that die. Which means that if it is all Transformers, then Decepticons could be in there too. But like you bring up, it's possible plasma energy chamber is also sort of an afterlife for them.
It's hard to describe. It's but at least
But then you
at
go
this
into
point, the only thing that we have is that the matrix of leadership is really, really important. And if some inexplicable way it's able to affect Unicron. Why? No idea.
But then there's
they don't
also-
address it in the movie, so for all intents and purposes, no, there is not an afterlife.
Oh, dang.
It is established in season 3 that there's collective wisdom, so Prime is kind of like in there.
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
But you go off of like the comics or something like that, and you can like download people's personalities onto floppy disks and then reprogram a new body, and that's essentially Ship of Theseus, the new old Optimus Prime, you know, or whatever. And then in season 3, Quintesson brings Optimus back to life without the Matrix.
He just builds them.
Yeah, and then in like Headmasters and Victory, they kind of rebuild some people, but then other people die, and they just give them a funeral, and they're dead for good because they got shot a bunch of times. I don't know, man. There is no consistency in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Fortunately, we have the Allspark now. This is why Beast Wars definitely created the idea of the Allspark being a place where all sparks go to heaven. Sparks are like the Transformers' souls, and when they die, they go back to the Allspark unless they're completely extinguished.
Yeah.
Or in Starscream's case, if they're an indestructible spark and
they
float around the universe and become a ghost.
Yes, because ghosts are a thing in season 3 as well.
Yes, so there's also ghosts. So, yes, there is an afterlife. No, there is not an afterlife.
Yes, there is an afterlife, but it sucks.
There's an afterlife if your character is popular and your toy sells well.
Basically.
Oh, perfect.
We've solved it, guys.
Oh, now we're back to like the medieval Catholic Church. You gotta buy your way to Catholic.
Buy your indulgences.
Except this time it's got to be little kids buying your toys.
Yes.
Oh, that's horrific.
It's a Santa situation. The more they believe in you, the more you have the ability to keep going.
Speaking of belief, where has Magnus been if he's been an old friend all this time? Well, it wasn't in season 1 or 2.
Just off screen.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we watched Scramble City, and
Yes,
it's
he is
established
in
that
that
he's
episode,
like a secondary commander of some kind. Like he's kind of a right-hand man. But
I like that Prime gives sort of a prophecy to comfort them. This is a sad moment, but he says that I'm passing the Matrix on, and one day an Autobot shall rise to light our darkest hour, right? Implying that the death of Optimus Prime is not their darkest hour. Like, on one hand, it could be seen, oh, don't worry, guys, it's going to get much worse than this. But it could also be seen as, hey, this is just a thing, this is part of life, I'm passing on, I will soon be part of the Matrix, you don't have to worry about it. It's okay. You know, there's darker, you know, there will be darker times than this, you know, but it is not this day.
Oh my god, it's a giant planet that eats planets.
It's our darkest hour in about an hour.
The funny thing is, too, is that none of the Autobots know about Unicron just yet.
Yeah!
Optimus is giving... It feels like Optimus knows about Unicron, but he's had no information about him just yet.
Yeah.
So he's just like, listen, the darkest time it'll be bad, but you'll make it through. Oh shoot, it's happening right now? Oh, okay.
But yeah, and then Magnus just drops the Matrix, but it's badly animated. I always thought that he just took it out and readjusted it, put it back in. But it's supposed to be that it falls out of his chest cavity and he grabs it and puts it back in.
It's
kind of implying that it's not him, as if Hot Rod catching it and it glowing super bright wasn't enough, and just anyway.
But I like that
he
gives it to Magnus, and Magnus says, "I'm just a soldier. I'm not worthy." And Magnus's assessment is right. Is that he is really good at tactics from what we've seen. Mm-hmm. He's able to direct people to tell them where to go in a crisis situation and stuff. But when it comes to inspiring hope in the darkest hour and stuff, he's not good at that part.
Yes.
And that he's kind of just a problem solver, brute force your way through everything. Yeah. Even with like trying to open the Matrix later in the movie, he's just like... and... but Rodimus is the only one who, up until this point we've seen, is like a very hopeful person. He's a very like charge headlong, straight into things. He's reckless, but he's hopeful. And that's like what Optimus is talking about, is that, you know, light our darkest hour.
And that is the theme of the rest of the movie. It's light in the darkest hour, hope in the face of destruction. life in the face of nihilism. You know?
Daring to be stupid.
Daring to be stupid. Dare to be stupid. Dare to keep your dreams alive. That's really the theme of the movie is dare to keep your dreams alive.
Yeah.
That whole song is, the touch is definitely the high point because it's so awesome, but dare is the theme of the movie.
It's such an 80s movie. It's so good.
Oh, yeah. And don't sell poorly.
Yes.
Yeah. And,
You got the touch. You got the sales numbers.
So Optimus passes on, and through the trauma, we will pass on to our first break.
Hey. And we're back.
Wow, what a bathroom break it was indeed.
I know, man. I went to go to the bathroom, and I got flushed and sent 360 miles away, and somehow finished my semester.
Yeah.
It took us like 3 days. We were knocking on the door like, Jonah, are you okay? Are you all right in there? It took us about 3 days to work up the courage to open the door and
It's
see
like, I'm
if he was
gonna
still in
open
there.
the door. I'm gonna do it. I just want you to know, I'm gonna do it.
You better have pants on when I come in.
Look, man, it was all those electrons I was eating.
Yep.
A little heavy on the electron.
Just a little bit heavy.
Just a little.
Electrons!
That's what happens when you drink too much
man.
Energon.
I got eaten by Unicron and turned into one of this. I am now Galva Jonah.
Jonah.
You have to change my Transformer Sona now.
Yes, I gave you the little purple crown, like just.
There we go.
Jonah, is it really you?
Galva Jonah. This is bad comedy. Oh man. But what's not bad comedy is this part of the story that has stuck out the most to me is like I grew up watching this movie. It has kind of just existed in my life for my entire 26 years of existence on this planet.
Yeah.
I've talked about it to death. Everyone has talked about it to death.
Yep.
But I was on a rewatch trying to think like, okay, what are some things that like what storytelling aspects of this movie have I not really like thought that hard about? Like what are some things that are not so obvious? And to me, it was the realization that this movie is a musical. Sort of.
Yeah.
Not quite a full musical, but
Kind of in the way that American Graffiti is a musical.
yeah, where
They
it's
call it a jukebox musical?
a jukebox musical. So
Yeah.
like George Lucas's masterpiece Strange Magic.
Or Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Exactly.
There you go. Yeah.
Or Purple Rain.
Or The Point.
The Points. And the Lego Movie. No, I was kidding.
Yeah.
But
Hey, Guardians of the Galaxy. So
yeah,
that's a little bit diegetic.
yeah, that
None
was
of the
diegetic.
songs in this movie are diegetic,
Right.
as far as we know.
But
Dare to be Stupid may be playing on the Junkions TVs.
I feel like the Junkions are
They
playing
just
Dare to
have
Be
Weird
Stupid
Al Yankovic captive in one of the Junkions.
in his basement. But to me, a musical is any movie or story or, visual medium that uses songs as an extension of the storytelling. And this one, weirdly enough, does that through the music choices. So it's, like the advertising for this movie was a rock and roll adventure in outer space.
Absolutely.
And it lives up to that, but I think also its choices in songs really plays into the story itself. So like even from the beginning, like the Transformers theme by Lion, it's a heavy metal version of, well, not even heavy metal, like 80s rock version of the Transformers main theme.
Yeah.
And technically what it's doing is that it's recontextualizing the war we all know, the Saturday morning cartoon war, as it is now in 2005, that things have changed. And the threat that they're about to face is, it's this new spaceborne threat of some kind, and it's different. It's the same type of war, but the rules have changed.
Right, and there's more to it.
Yeah.
Because there's more lyrics than in the original theme song.
Right. But, the lyrics are like, something evil is watching over you, coming from the sky above, and there's nothing you can do.
Obviously, yeah.
Unicron.
Yeah.
And we'll come back to that towards the end as well, but, the next song is Instruments of Destruction.
Yeah.
And, plays when Megatron and the Decepticons just start killing Autobots.
Right.
And
and Megatron is literally an instrument of destruction because he turns into a gun.
right. It's it's on the nose.
Yes.
But it's also a little bit more like when you look at the Decepticons and how they end up by the end of the whole movie.
Yeah.
Is that the Decepticons have a pretty messed up fate in that they kind of burned themselves out in this final push of the war.
Yeah.
Is that I think Instruments of Destruction is what Unicron represents. Total oblivion. Just nothingness. Destroying everything until there's nothing left. And that's like the end game of the Decepticons.
For some reason, when you said that, it unlocked a memory from when I was a kid. My theory for what Unicron's end goal was to eat his way through the entire solar system and eventually eat the sun.
I mean, it makes sense. Like, we see in the comics as well that, Unicron is a cosmological
the god
constant.
of chaos. Or
the god of
destruction
chaos.
Or something, right?
Yeah, but he's specifically, his end game is to be the only thing left in the universe.
Yeah.
And he can't die.
And then when he gets hungry, he goes to another universe and starts eating again.
Yeah, he's literally just hunger as a concept.
Yeah.
But I think this is with the lyrics and stuff, when the nightmare's over, to dust all creation, to ashes we transform.
Yeah.
It's really fitting.
Yeah.
But for the Decepticons, that's any pretense of a safe war, a war where there are no casualties, are totally dropped. Underneath the mask is ruthlessness, desperation, just cold-blooded killers intent on a last final blaze of glory. They're charging into Autobot City, do not care how many people die, do not care how many of their own die.
Right.
It's just, they finally decided, you know what, this is it. We're just making this the end of the war.
Yeah, think about how many times the Decepticons, Megatron or Devastator or whoever, talks about extermination, slaughter, annihilation, destruction throughout the first part.
And it's all of their other plans had an end goal. And goal of goal of revitalize Cybertron, make a new thing.
Hydroelectric power!
But this one is literally just die Autobots.
Yes.
Yeah.
We don't care what we get out of it in the end, as long as you're dead.
Right.
And when the Autobots flee,
Vanquished forever.
and there's nobody left for the Decepticons to destroy, they start turning on themselves. They're cannibalizing themselves. They're low on resources.
Yeah.
They are turning against each other, splintering, fracturing apart. Shockwave's in control of Cybertron. Megatron's nowhere to be seen. Starscream's taking power. Soundwave would probably, if things went on, make his own power play of some kind out of loyalty for Megatron.
Well, he did. He does. We haven't talked about the scene yet, but he does challenge the Constructicons when everybody's vying for power.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, sorry, you were going to say something, Jonah?
Oh, no, I was just going to throw in that they also throw out their week to lighten the load in a zero-gravity environment.
Yes.
To go faster, once again, in a zero-gravity environment.
Must go faster. It's so good.
I've begun to theorize ever since I started thinking about that that it's actually because we've seen Starscream connoiter with Astrotrain in the past vying for power, that most of the Decepticons are too stupid to realize that. So Starscream is plotting with Astrotrain, hey, make up this excuse that we need to lighten our load or we can't make it to Cybertron.
Right.
So we can get rid of Megatron.
They're like, look,
It's totally in character for Starscream.
none of the other Decepticons are scientists like me. They'll never catch on.
Right.
But yeah, and then that brings us to the next song, Dare by Stan Bush.
I'm trying so hard not to sing.
I know. But I think this one mostly represents, like, this is Rodimus's song.
Yes.
It's his limitless potential, it's unbridled optimism,
Yes.
and drive towards the future. But it's technically in the same theme as The Touch.
right.
Like, but it's only the first part of it. Like, this is the spark of leadership. Is
Yeah.
that Rodimus doesn't realize it yet, but he holds the future in his hands.
Yeah.
But he's untested and naive.
Right.
He doesn't understand the situation when he shoots at the Decepticon ship.
Literally, RC calls him out on that later.
Yeah, you didn't properly understand the situation.
Yeah.
And he doesn't. And it's what gets him in the way of the fight between Optimus and Megatron and ultimately causes the death of Optimus. He's reckless, but the important distinction between him and Ultra Magnus is that he actually dares.
Yes.
Is that he's the actor. Like, he has to do something.
Right.
He can't sit by and just watch. Ultra Magnus does things out of necessity, but he
Yeah.
does the safe options. He does the like the textbook stuff.
He's the planner.
He's a soldier.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's
exactly.
a really good executor,
Right.
but when push comes to shove, his main plan is just run away. What do we do next? Keep running away.
We'll
Yeah.
we'll figure that out when we get there.
Yeah.
Maybe
Whereas
the Matrix can help us.
Hot Rod's crazy enough to say, you know what, we're just gonna go in guns blazing, go attack Unicron sort of thing. Like, it's reckless, but it's something.
Yes.
But yeah, that's like the beginning of The Touch, but then that brings us to what is The Touch.
Right.
And The Touch is, again by Stan Bush, what it takes to be a leader of the Autobots. This is the stuff of leadership. And
Yeah.
this is what Optimus represents.
Right.
Is that you never bend, you never break, you seem to know just what it takes.
Yes.
When days get too tough, knowing what it takes to stand your ground, daring to make a stand for what matters to you when your back's to the wall.
Right.
And Prime's willingness to face impossible odds and turn the tide in the siege against Autobot City is basically just putting on display that, like, this is the model. Like, he has the touch. This is what the touch looks
Yeah.
like.
He's the ideal.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
yeah. I was
He's
thinking-
made of sterner stuff.
Yeah. I heard somebody say recently that Optimus is the ideal leader and Hot Rod is, you and me, and like, he's the idealistic but naive, but he's the, but also in season 3 the burnout traumatized leader, but he's
like
the
Neo in
relatable
the Matrix.
Yes.
It's like
Exactly.
the Oracle, like, you've got the stuff, but it's like you're waiting for something.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Relatable, that's what it is. Optimus is the ideal leader. Rodimus is the relatable leader.
Right.
So I was going to make a comparison, is that Optimus is Aragorn in the books, and Rodimus is Aragorn in the movies.
Yeah. The reluctant leader.
Right.
But
My Dinobots, you bow to no one.
Grimlock's new brain.
my mini guns. Oh man.
Yes.
But then like we have the goal. We have the aspirational like goal that we know that Rodimus that Hot Rod is supposed to like live up to this standard. But then the next song is Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way, which is suddenly getting dropped into a lethal world, separated from everybody that Hot Rod knows,
Yes.
and he's completely alone
Yeah.
against just nature.
Yeah.
Like primal animals, and like the whole world is hostile
Yeah.
now. Now that he's kind of got this like this not burden of leadership yet, but it's kind of his crucible.
Yeah,
at this
it's a
point.
coming of age story, and this is like the first part of him leaving home.
Yeah.
You know, the mentor
Yeah.
has died. I mean, he's got Cup for a mentor also, but he's left his home, which I guess is Earth in this case.
Yeah.
And this is his first step on his own. Really tested on without anybody to help him, where he has to stand up. One of the lyrics is "New Expectations."
Yeah.
I don't know if you've got that in here, but I just wanted to point that out because I love Nothing's Gonna Stand in Our Way.
It's one of it. I've always said that nothing's gonna stand in our way. If I was a wrestler, that would be my walkout song.
Big block of orange.
Yeah, big block of orange. But yeah, this is basically testing Hot Rod to see, like, do you have the sterner stuff that Optimus has? Like,
Yeah.
does he have the passion and the pride
Yes.
to prove that time is on his side? He's not going to let anything stand in his way. It's just like brute force. Like, Dare was like, running free. Nothing's going to stand in our way is running through obstacles and
Yeah.
pushing through. But then it gets even further down into like the dark place of this crucible with hunger. And this is just the absolute need to stay alive
Yeah.
at its most basic and primal and savage.
Yeah.
Like, and it's basically realizing that, like, not only is he thrown into this whole like wilderness and stuff, he's thrown into injustice and literally an entire justice system that's completely perverted.
Yeah.
Like, it's literally upside down, and the hierarchy feels like it's insurmountable. Like, it's like,
literally at the top of a giant wall.
he's got thrown into a pit, and at
a
the
throne.
bottom is just a bunch of people struggling to stay alive.
Right.
And there's
Yeah.
not really any direction or anything.
Right.
I'd also like to point out the hunger, and this is also the in the hero's journey cycle. This is the belly of the beast moment in
Yes.
the story.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
literally like
Absolutely.
the bottom of the pit is the belly of the beast.
Right, and it's hungry.
Yeah.
also, like sometimes when I listen to songs like this, like from, rock and roll stars and take your pick, on the radio or whatever, I always assume like, oh well, it's probably a euphemism for something, or like maybe he's actually talking about drugs or something. But in this song, I like to think that he's actually just talking about, I'm hungry, I need food now.
Yeah.
It's the hangry song.
Right. But yeah, like I think there's a direct progression of Dare. It's optimism, it's drive forward, but without any opposition. Nothing's going to stand in our way is drive forward through opposition. Hunger is
Eat the rich.
unstoppable force meets immovable object. Like, this is do or die. And like, when it really comes down to it, are you willing to kill to make sure that you get to the end goal? But it's also like, it's so cool hearing like, you want freedom so bad you can taste it, and it drives you mad to see it wasted and it's like, it drives you mad to see freedom wasted by the quintessons who are, up top, and they have freedom, but they're using their freedom to be oppressive. And literally, like, you're stuck down in the pit with a bunch of Sharkticons that all of them are also being oppressed, but they're just an execution method. Like, they're a product of the system, and they're pitted against each other by the upper class and the ruling elite. And the only way out of that pit is primal violence. And yeah, it's
Actually, the scene also shows that help from friends, because
Yes.
Wheelie, and we'll talk about it later, but like Wheelie helps the Dinobots
today.
find them and rescue them, So, they made a friend, and then he helped them rescue their friends. Which again, because this is Transformers, the answer is violence.
Yeah. But that's the thing is
but it is the friendship that saves them in the end,
Like them being stuck and isolated in this pit makes them think that primal violence is the only way out.
Right.
Until their friends literally bust down the door and save them. And it's like, oh, the actual way out is through the friends the friends we made along the way.
Right.
Maybe the real adventure was the friends we made along the way.
Right. Because then Grimlock just takes command of the Sharkticons and sends them after we'll talk about that some more later.
Yeah. But then that theme of friends and the bonds that you forge are really what's going to save you in the end leads directly into Dare to Be Stupid. And it's talking about like kind of the absurdity of trying to extend the hand of friendship to someone, especially when they just were trying to kill you and stuff. But with the whole threat of Unicron, it's that it's unavoidable. It's inevitable. It doesn't matter how much we fight each other. He's gonna show up. So what are we doing wasting time trying to fight each other? And it feels kind of stupid to trust someone that you were fighting literally seconds before, but it's the only way that you and the others could get out of the pit on Quintesson. It's worth daring to lend a hand because it leads to unity. And all of the weird aspects of like living that are pointed out in the song by Weird Al, they are kind of stupid, but that's like the whole point of the song is that like the future's up to you, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think you wanted to say something about that too, Jonah.
Oh, yeah. I just with the themes that you're talking about daring and putting yourself out there, I was rewatching it earlier, and I realized that the themes of this movie are shockingly similar to 28 Days Later. Because... And it's
Elaborate.
such a weird... Okay, so 28 Days Later, the theme of that movie is that the world is an angry place filled with hatred and horrible people. However, if you close yourself off and don't say hello to people, you're never going to find good people. You're never going to get out of the cycle. Life will just continue to be survival instead of thriving and being happy, because they, like in this movie, they meet some people, trying to say hello, and then they turn out to attack them, like in this movie the first time they do the universal greeting, and it doesn't go right. But then
I thought
other
they were
times
supposed to reciprocate.
But in this movie, the core emotional theme is to dare to be yourself. Dare. The world is there's danger, there is destruction, brutality. But if you don't dare to make a change and dare to be yourself and dare to be stupid and be vulnerable and make friends, then it's just gonna get worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And you can, you can succeed, and you can, I cheered when Dare came back, when they crashed through Unicron's eye.
Yeah.
I know, it's so hype.
Because it's gone from just this optimistic outlook on the future to this actual, like, you're challenging the nihilism and the oppressiveness of Unicron. It's like a rebuttal. It's like
a defiance.
Defiance. Thank you. Yeah, it's a defiant reprise of Dare.
It's like I stared into the abyss and I said, "Come on!"
We could do it. We can make it through with friends.
But that's like, that's the whole point of the reprise, is that it's not just, it's Hot Rod's original ideology confirmed, but also showing that he's grown at this point, is that his recklessness has evolved into the courage of being a leader, as he leads people to charge headlong into completely impossible odds. but instead of daring to think that there's got to be something better out there, it's daring to believe that they can survive against insurmountable odds. And then that finally brings us to
With the power of friendship, till
Yeah.
all are one.
exactly. And then the touch coming back is that it's confirming, Rodimus Prime now has the touch. He finally understands what it means to be in Optimus's shoes, and that it's courage, it's daring, it's the willingness to act, but tempered with, knowing what's at stake, knowing how precious life is,
Understanding the situation.
which leads to hope. And all of that brings everyone, it unites everyone together. No factions, no agendas, just one single united front to make a stand against the inevitability of oblivion, of what Unicron represents, of death, and daring to live another day instead of just laying over and accepting. It is literally a completely defiant message against nihilism. And then that leads us into the reprise of the Transformers theme, where we get the extra lyrics that say that it's Judgment Day, we've made our stand. For now, the powers of darkness have been driven from our land.
But there's going to be a season 3.
There's going to be season 3. But even though the movie ends on this is all over, the war is over, and everything like that, the song itself acknowledges that,
Insidious promised us peace!
But it acknowledges that, even though we've won this, there's always going to be another threat. It's never you beat evil and then it's done. Evil always shows up. Evil rears its ugly head every time. Mm-hmm. But that's maybe the real victory was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
So that is my thesis statement on why the Transformers movie is actually a jukebox musical. And utilizes a lot of songs in its thematic storytelling very effectively.
Very, very well. Very good. Very good.
Oh,
Yes.
thank you.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
I would also like to... Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I fully agree because I remember when you guys traumatized me with this movie about 20 years ago. I definitely remember the soundtrack and just found myself how did that song go? You got the touch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's great motivation. The touch
gym
and
playlist.
dare are just fantastic motivational. I used to listen to this soundtrack when I used to work out. But I'd also want to point out that the not just the songs, but the soundtrack itself, the instrumental music, has incredible leitmotifs that show up again and again. Even though they do kind of just reuse some tracks later on, it's because it has the leitmotifs for the characters or the factions. Because the Autobots have leitmotifs, the Decepticons have leitmotifs, Death has a leitmotif.
Yeah.
Hope has a leitmotif. And they show up here and there throughout the epic, fun action scene has a leitmotif.
Rock and roll space opera.
It's just fantastic. The soundtrack through this whole thing is great.
Yeah. Vince Nicola knocks it out of the park.
Yeah.
Every time I watch Rocky 4,
Yes.
it makes me think of this movie because it's a very similar sounding
Right.
synth sound.
And also, fun fact, which probably most people know, The Touch was originally going to be a song for a Sylvester Stallone movie, but it did not get used. I don't remember, but it ended up being in the Transformers instead. And
Stop or my grandma will shoot.
But yeah, I think it works much better here, as you mentioned.
And now it's it's inseparable from Transformers.
It is.
Like-
It is.
Yeah,
was-
even the comic references it. The new
Yes. Yes.
You know the song.
Oh, I love that part because when you could actually say that to the tune of The Touch, just you know the song. It is also in a Transformers reference in regular show, I think.
Yes. It's been referenced countless times.
But anyway, that was just one that I remembered because I was not expecting it.
Yeah.
But with that, let's take a short break. Short break this time.
Short.
Minutes instead of months.
And when we come back, we will talk about the rest of the movie.
Hey everybody, that is the end of part 1 of our discussion of The Transformers the movie. Please join us later this month for part 2 and the conclusion of our discussion of The Transformers the movie, as well as our segments for this episode. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Bye.